Welcome to Cosmic Eternity Channel. There comes a point in every life when something quietly shifts. It doesn't announce itself with thunder or lightning. It's subtle, yet undeniable, like a whisper breaking through the noise of ordinary days. You may not recognize it at first, but deep down, your soul does. It's the moment heaven calls your name, not by accident, not by coincidence, but by divine intention. This message is for those who have felt that quiet stirring in their spirit, those who know there's something more, something unseen waiting to unfold through their life. Maybe you felt that restlessness inside, a sense that you were born for something beyond the routine, that no matter how much you try to fit in, something inside you refuses to settle. It's not discontentment, it's destiny knocking. It's heaven's reminder that your life carries a purpose written long before you took your first breath. Imagine someone living day by day, just doing their best to survive, working, dreaming, trying to stay afloat, until one day something shifts inside. A gentle yet powerful realization arises. God has chosen me for something that only I can do. That realization rarely comes with applause or clarity. Sometimes it arrives wrapped in pain, in a dream that refuses to die, or in a situation that forces you to look upward for strength. When God calls, He already knows everything about you, your strengths, your flaws, your fears, and even the battles you hide from others. Yet, He calls you anyway. Because His choice is never based on where you came from, but on where He's determined to take you. Being chosen isn't about status or recognition, it's about purpose. It means carrying within you a divine seed, something sacred that will bloom when the time is right, even if right now it seems invisible. And once you realize this, something awakens in your heart. You start to see that your life isn't random. Every event, every setback, every delay, it's all part of a design. If these words are already resonating with your spirit, stay with me. Let this message remind you that you're not walking through this alone. You are part of something greater, something eternal. When God looks at you, He doesn't see who you are right now. He sees who you're becoming. The world measures worth by titles, appearance, or success, but God looks beyond all that, straight into the heart. That's why His chosen ones often look ordinary or even unlikely. Think of David, the forgotten shepherd boy whom no one believed in, not even his own family. To human eyes, he was insignificant, but to God, he was already a king. Where others saw weakness, God saw courage. Where others saw inexperience, God saw readiness. Maybe that's your story too. Maybe people around you don't understand what's inside of you. They might say you're not ready, not capable, not the right one. But God's gaze cuts through all that. He sees potential that no one else can recognize. And when He sets His eyes on you, it's never to condemn, it's to awaken destiny. The divine gaze doesn't merely observe, it creates. God doesn't just see your best version, He's shaping it within you, piece by piece. Heaven already holds the image of what you will become. And every step you take brings that vision closer to reality. So even when you don't feel prepared, remember this: the one who called you will also shape you until you reflect everything He saw in you from the beginning. When God chooses someone, He doesn't hand over a finished destiny. He leads you through a journey, and that journey often feels more like fire than favor. Think of a blacksmith refining metal. He heats it, strikes it, and shapes it again and again until it's strong enough to endure any impact. That's how God works with those He calls. The trials you face aren't meant to break you, they're meant to build you. Maybe you've been through seasons where people walked away, where doors you counted on suddenly closed, where everything you planned fell apart. And in the quiet, you asked, God, why are you allowing this? The truth is, the fire exposes what's inside. It strips away what doesn't belong and teaches you to depend on Him more than on yourself. The desert you walk through isn't punishment, it's preparation. Look at Joseph, betrayed by his brothers, imprisoned for a crime he didn't commit, forgotten by those who owed him. Every moment of pain was shaping him into the man who would one day rule Egypt. Before God placed Joseph in the palace, He had to forge in him the heart of a leader. That's what your trials are doing for you right now. And then comes the hardest season of all, the silence of God. It's not when giants come against you, but when heaven seems quiet. You pray, you wait, you cry out, but nothing happens. The silence can feel louder than any storm. You begin to wonder, did God forget me? But silence doesn't mean absence. Just as a teacher stays quiet during a test, God's silence means He's watching to see you apply what He's already taught you. His silence is trust. It means He believes you're ready for the next step. Faith isn't proven in answered prayers, it's proven in unanswered ones. When nothing moves, yet you still believe, that's when heaven applauds. Because often, while you think God is doing nothing, He's orchestrating everything, aligning details you can't yet see, preparing outcomes you couldn't imagine. Remember Jesus on the cross. Even He felt abandoned. Yet that silence wasn't rejection, it was the setup for resurrection. So if you're walking through a silent season, hold on. What feels like stillness is divine construction. When the answer finally comes, you'll see that God never left you, just couldn't hear Him over the sound of your own transformation. When God molds you, it rarely feels pleasant, it feels like breaking. But just as a diamond must be cut and polished to reveal its brilliance, your trials are uncovering the beauty inside you. Each disappointment, each loss, each tear is a tool in the Creator's hands. Look at Moses. 40 years in the desert seemed like wasted time, yet it was sacred training. God was turning a reckless man into a wise leader. That's what He's doing in you. Refinement takes time. God is not in a hurry, because true strength is never rushed. So if right now you feel worn down, misunderstood, or stretched beyond what you can handle, remember, you're not falling apart. You're being shaped into something eternal. And one day, the world will see the light that heaven has always seen in you. Every chosen one faces a defining moment, a point where heaven waits to see your response. It's not always dramatic. Sometimes it's a quiet decision that changes everything. It could be forgiveness, surrender, or a step into the unknown. Like Abraham, who left everything familiar with nothing but faith as his map. That one yes changed history. The choices that change everything always require trust. Most people stop at the edge of that decision because it's terrifying to let go of control. But the chosen know something deeper. They understand that obedience might cost much, but disobedience costs everything. From my perspective, this message isn't just a story or a spiritual idea. It's a truth that I've seen unfolding in real life, both in my own journey and in the lives of those around me. I've come to believe that being chosen by God isn't about privilege, it's about responsibility. It's realizing that every moment of silence, every closed door, and even every season of pain has a purpose that our limited eyes can't always see. What touches me most is understanding that God doesn't choose the perfect, He perfects the chosen. He takes our weakness, our uncertainty, and our past mistakes, and somehow transforms them into the foundation of our calling. That's why I no longer see challenges as punishment, but as preparation. Each trial, each disappointment, is part of the process that shapes who we are meant to become. I believe that when we finally surrender to this process, when we stop fighting to control everything and simply trust His timing, something powerful happens. We begin to see how every detour was actually divine direction. And even in moments when we feel unseen or forgotten, we're being refined quietly, patiently, for something greater than we can imagine. To me, that's the beauty of being chosen. It's not about shining in front of others, It's about allowing God to shine through you, even when no one is watching. Perhaps this is your moment right now, standing before something that feels far bigger than you can handle. Your heart races, your mind floods with questions, and there's that quiet voice inside whispering, "Trust me, take the step." It's in that very instant, when your willing heart meets God's perfect plan, that everything begins to shift. Doors start to open, unseen forces begin to move, and what once felt unreachable begins drawing near. Because when a chosen one says yes, heaven itself rises to act. Obedience might seem simple at first glance, but for the chosen, it carries a weight that transcends understanding. It's not about following rules, it's about aligning your heart with God's, even when every instinct within you resists. Often, obedience defies logic. It calls you to forgive when no apology has been given, to give when you long to receive, to remain silent when your spirit demands answers. And in that kind of obedience, chains begin to fall. Think of Peter. After a night of empty nets, Jesus said, "Cast your nets on the other side." To any experienced fisherman, it made no sense. Yet Peter obeyed, and in that moment the impossible happened. Nets filled beyond measure, boats nearly overwhelmed with abundance. Human effort alone could never have produced it. That's how it is for the chosen. Obedience, even without understanding, shifts the spiritual realm. Barriers that held you for years crumble. Doors that seemed sealed swing open. Burdens that weighed you down dissolve. Often, the full impact of that obedience is only revealed later, because what felt small on earth was monumental in heaven. Maybe today, God is calling you to something that seems impossible. If you step forward, you'll discover no chain is strong enough to resist the power of a heart surrendered to His will. And when those chains fall, the chosen are not only free, they become instruments of freedom for others. Scripture reminds us that heaven rejoices over every step of faith. It's not a quiet satisfaction, but a celebration. Imagine the scene. You obey, you take the step that terrified you, and above the angels stir, trumpets sound, and joy radiates across the throne. God smiles not as a passive observer, but as a father witnessing his child rise, overcome, and fulfill their divine purpose. Heaven does not applaud fleeting success, it celebrates eternal impact. When a chosen one obeys, they touch something far larger than themselves. Like the prodigal son, whose return sparked a feast, your steps toward purpose invite heaven's rejoicing. Every tear, every silent battle, every courageous decision, everything is remembered. And when the time comes to move forward, divine joy fills the realm. Your victory becomes more than personal, it impacts eternity. There are moments that redefine everything, moments when your heart races and you look back realizing every hard step, every painful choice, every season of waiting had purpose. And then comes that feeling. I did it. I finally moved. I took the step I feared, even without guarantees. It's a sensation words cannot capture, as if the universe paused to honor your courage. And the astonishing truth is that action transforms reality. Invisible barriers fall. The weight that held you back turns into momentum. Opportunities appear that once seemed out of reach. Energy flows where before there was emptiness. And yet you never did it alone. Every challenge prepared you, every tear, every night of fear equipped you to say, I stepped forward. I did what needed to be done. This isn't just a personal triumph, it is proof that the chosen do not remain stagnant. They move, overcome, and advance. And their courage creates ripples in the world around them. Like a stone cast into still water, the initial impact may go unnoticed, but waves spread outward, stirring everything in their path. Each act of faith, every brave choice, every silent obedience sends out ripples that touch unseen lives. Someone discouraged finds hope. Someone lost finds direction. Someone trapped experiences freedom. These effects multiply. Every person touched by your courage spreads the light further, creating a chain reaction only fully visible from above. Even when it seems your actions go unnoticed, their impact is profound, invisible, and eternal. The greatest rewards are never obvious. They are not headlines, applause, or recognition. They are deep, lasting, and transformative. Standing firm, facing the impossible, making difficult decisions even without immediate results, builds a confidence, strength, and clarity that can never be taken away. Like planting a seed in darkness, growth happens quietly until it bursts into light. The chosen know this secret. True victories often begin unseen. Every courageous choice reshapes a life, opens doors, and prepares the soil for what is to come. The rewards are not simply about achievement, they are about becoming someone greater, stronger, wiser, a source of inspiration, a bearer of light. When this understanding settles in, you realize that every challenge, every fear, every season of waiting was an investment in the person you were always meant to become. The impact of the chosen extends beyond personal victories. It creates a legacy, touching lives, shaping stories, and inspiring others to walk courageously. Like a small flame growing in darkness, every act of faith illuminates the path for someone else. Your courage, your choices, your perseverance, these are never isolated. They spread, ignite, and transform. The chosen understand their life is not only about themselves, it is about the mark they leave behind, hope, faith, and inspiration. And so the journey continues. Each challenge is an opportunity to grow. Every action is a chance to impact. Every step is an invitation to become more than you were yesterday. The chosen move forward not because it is easy, but because they understand that the true reward lies in continuing, in advancing, in never stopping. The journey is not only about reaching a destination, it is about becoming the person God created you to be along the way. From my perspective, what strikes me most is the extraordinary power of obedience and faith. I realize that being chosen by God is not about privilege or comfort. It's about stepping into the unknown, trusting Him even when the path seems impossible. Every challenge, every moment of fear, every season of waiting is part of a divine process designed to shape, strengthen, and prepare us for what we were always meant to become. I see now that the smallest acts of courage, the quietest decisions to obey, can ripple far beyond what we can ever perceive. They impact lives, break chains, and open doors that human effort alone could never reach. What feels like struggle or silence is actually preparation for a purpose much greater than ourselves. Spiritually, this teaches me that God's ways are far beyond our understanding. The victories of the chosen are never measured by worldly standards, they are measured by eternal impact. And when we finally take that courageous step, even in uncertainty, we are not only moving forward ourselves, we are moving heaven, touching eternity, and inspiring others to rise as well. This understanding fills me with awe and humility. I see that my journey, with all its trials, is sacred. Every moment matters, every choice has significance, and every act of faith contributes to something eternal. It reminds me that living as a chosen one is not about recognition, it's about becoming a channel of God's purpose and allowing His light to shine through even when the world cannot yet see it.